The first warning came with the snarl of a bulldozer tearing through my newly rebuilt fence, the splintered wood scattering like broken promises across the frost-kissed soil of Pine Hollow, Montana. I'd spent the previous night hammering posts into the ground, guided by survey maps that traced my family's claim back to 1896. But there they stood, three women, the Barrett sisters, Claudia, Evelyn, and Marissa, glaring at me with the kind of venom that could curdle milk. "Move your pathetic fence, or we'll do it again." Claudia, the eldest, spat, her power suit pristine despite the muddy terrain. They laughed as the bulldozer churned, a malicious cackle that stopped only when I mentioned the sheriff and a certain contract, verified by the FBI, locked in my safe. "Want my land?" I said, voice steady despite the rage bubbling inside. "Come Monday, when the courthouse opens, we'll see who's packing up and leaving. My name's Ethan Caldwell, and I'd come back to my grandfather's 50-acre farm to escape the ghosts of my past. 2 years ago, I lost my wife, Laura, in a car crash one I could have prevented if I hadn't been halfway across the world securing Google servers. Cybersecurity had made me wealthy enough to retire at 38, but no amount of money could erase the guilt. So I left San Francisco's chaos for the quiet of Pine Hollow, where my family's land had stood for 4 generations. The farmhouse creaked, the views sang, and for 3 weeks, I thought I'd found peace. Then the Barrett sisters rolled up in their gleaming SUVs, their designer bags clutched like weapons, their hair defying gravity. Claudia, the ringleader, introduced herself with a shark smile. "Tear down this fence, Mr. Caldwell. This land's part of our Pine Ridge estates, and would rails violate HOA rules." I showed them my deed, older than their combined ages, but Evelyn, clutching a stack of legal papers, claimed the county had rezoned my land into their development. Marissa, sporting an HOA badge like a war medal, added, "You've got 48 hours to comply." I knew their type, local real estate queens who'd been swallowing Pine Hollow's properties for years, dreaming of a luxury resort. Claudia dropped their real offer: sell or face endless legal battles. "We own the 5 properties around you," she said, her voice ice cold. "Your farm's the final piece." I refused, and that's when things got ugly. Claudia's phone buzzed during our standoff, and I caught her muttering, "Not yet. Don't touch the girl." Her words chilled me, but I held my ground. After they left, I called my daughter, Sophie, a 16-year-old tech prodigy staying with her grandmother in Bozeman. "Dad, these sound like corporate bullies," she said, her video call showing a workbench littered with computer parts. "Want me to dig into them?" I told her to hold off, hoping to handle it legally. That night, engines roared outside. 12 men with crowbars spilled from pickup trucks, their headlights slicing the dark. My fence was kindling by morning, a $50,000 HOA fine taped to my door, penalties for unauthorized construction and aesthetic violations. Then Evelyn arrived with a nervous county assessor, claiming my property line was 50 feet off, based on a new map that reeked of fraud. "Your grandfather's surveys are outdated," she smirked, hinting at cozy ties with county officials. I showed her my phone, displaying the county's website confirming my land's zoning, but she brushed it off. "Websites lag. You've got 72 hours to comply, or it's $500 daily fines." The real blow came later, a text from an unknown number with a photo of Sophie at her school parking lot, a shadowy truck in the background. "Nice fence. Shame if something happened to her school." My blood froze. These weren't just land grabbers, they were monsters. I called Sophie, who laughed off the threat. "Dad, that photo's fake." "Wrong time, wrong shadows." I hacked their guy's phone. Tommy Barrett, Claudia's ex, a total loser. She traced him to downtown Bozeman, not a kidnapping hideout. "I'm in their system," she added. "Emails, texts, bank records." "Dad, they've killed 17 people." My heart sank as Sophie revealed the Barrett scheme, targeting elderly landowners, isolating them, poisoning them slowly while forcing sales. My grandfather, Henry, was one of their victims, his heart attack induced by arsenic-laced coffee Claudia personally delivered. Sophie had audio proof: Claudia's voice, cold and calculated, planning his murder. "He's asking about Martha's death. Switch to his coffee. 3 days, and it'll look natural." The sisters had bribed everyone from sheriffs to an FBI agent in Billings, ensuring their crimes stayed buried. As Sophie spoke, headlights crept up my road, not the usual goon squad, but 6 black SUVs moving with lethal precision. A text demanded I bring the safes documents to an old mining road, or Sophie would disappear. But Sophie was safe, and she'd cloned Claudia's phone, capturing every call, including one with a cleaner planning to erase our family, Sheriff Daniels, and neighbor Walt, who'd known my grandfather's secrets. Walt, a retired surveyor, opened Henry's safe that night, revealing not just 50 acres but 500, plus mineral rights to a $50 million gold deposit. The Barretts had been stealing land that was legally mine. The cleaners' team surrounded my house, a detonator glinting in one man's hand. I told Sophie to upload everything: recordings, financials, confessions to social media and FBI headquarters in Washington, bypassing the corrupt local office. As figures closed in, Sheriff Daniels' patrol car screeched into my driveway, followed by 2 FBI vehicles. Agent Rachel Kim, alerted by Sophie's evidence, led the charge. Federal agents. "Drop your weapons," she barked. The cleaners froze, caught in a trap they hadn't seen coming. Claudia emerged from an SUV, her composure shattered, screaming at her hired killers. Evelyn tried citing legal rights, but her trembling hands betrayed her. Marissa collapsed, sobbing. It was Claudia's idea. "I just signed papers." Agent Kim played Sophie's recordings, Claudia's voice detailing murders, poisonings, and bribes. The sisters' empire crumbled as handcuffs clicked. Kim turned to me, impressed. "Your daughter cracked security our cyber unit couldn't touch. We want her for an internship." Dawn revealed the full scope of Sophie's work. The Barretts were part of a multi-state real estate fraud ring, targeting the elderly across the West. A court order restored my 500 acres and all their stolen properties, worth $12 million, plus $8 million in seized assets. Sophie got an MIT scholarship and turned our barn into a cybersecurity hub, teaching cops to fight digital crime. We built Pine Hollow Memorial Park on the land Claudia coveted, honoring Henry and 16 others with a plaque reading, "Truth always wins." The Barretts got life without parole, except Marissa, who took 30 years for cooperating. Claudia tried running scams from prison, proving some never learn. As I walked the memorial garden, I thought of Henry's fight, Sophie's brilliance, and the sisters' fatal mistake, underestimating a family that wouldn't break. Justice came slow, but when it hit, it was a storm that swept their empire away.